toothpaste or a marshmallow. It's beyond me. I don't get it since we have alternatives for that nowadays. That's why that pig is so spiritual too. I mean, going back from even before the Maccabees, like we had a law against it. In the Maccabees, you saw how they pushed that on us. Nowadays, we just love it. Nowadays, you can't get enough of it. And you got people that, and again, in these religious institutions that teach you all, there's no more unclean food. Everything got cleansed with the blood of Jesus. Or all you got to do is pray over it. When in the Bible, whatever city you're in, whatever state you're in, I can almost guarantee there's somebody hop, skip, and jump away from you that's in the school that can help teach you and connect you with the right brothers to get you back in line. Because brotherhood is what? Brotherhood is a financial institution. Brotherhood and sisterhood is a kingdom. But that lives over here. You're not going to find this with anybody else. And everybody wants to say why we don't join up with nobody else. We're not affiliated with no other organization because we can't account for what that organization does. That one sister joined Morgan. Lord, Salakis, that sister would still be alive if she was here. Or at least if she just wasn't with them. I mean, maybe, whatever the Most High plan was for the sister, that's that. But the organization that she was involved in was the death of her. The lifestyles that brothers and sisters are involved in become the death of them. And that you'll find that in the Christian church. Dylan Rue Storm would never be able to walk in these doors to shoot up our congregation. Ever. Let alone get enough time to reload. It don't work that way in the truth. When you got brothers and sisters that are willing to put their life out there for you. Not just die for you, but live for you too. To show you the right way. To give you a proper and responsible example. Which is something that we're missing out here in this world. That's why we got to be able to differentiate how we deal with our brothers in the school, in the truth, versus brothers outside of the school, outside of the truth.
Right.
I'm not going to greet I'm going to greet Adawan Maccabi different than I greet my whole best friend back in the world. It's not the same relation anymore. There is a division between us. That doesn't mean I hate that.
That's right.
Who labor amongst me, who are willing to go the extra mile for me in the way that I need it. Not just somebody who's willing something like that. All right, let's go sell some drugs. Let's go rob somebody. I'm willing to put my life on the line. Versus a brother, a leader who's gonna be like, listen, all right, let's do this instead. Let's do this according to the law, according to the tradition. Our law, statutes, commandments, our customs. Let's do this the right way. Let's make money the right way. Maybe we got to get your head clear or something. Maybe there's something else you need to focus on versus trying to get your phone bill paid. Maybe you don't need a damn phone right now. Maybe you need to get to class. Maybe you need to build some signs. Maybe you need to do some push-ups. Maybe you need to study a book versus worrying about all these monetary gains that, again, brothers and sisters in the world might try to distract you with. Could be something as simple as weed. It's such a harmless thing nowadays. You can OD off aspirin. Harmless thing, right? Weed will have you snap. Like I've seen people getting into fights, getting robbed and jumped over weed, over little nickel and dime bags. It's not as innocent of a thing as you think. No matter how pretty they try to paint that picture. That's why we got to have a division. We have to have an understanding on what the truth is versus what this world is. Who's in the truth? Who's actually rocking? Now, again, for us, it's with the school. You got brothers and sisters who might know the truth and have a dogma about it because of all the social media about organizations to join camps, quote unquote, to join. When again, the simplicity in Christ, it's very transparent. I.S.U.P.K, home of the truth.
That's right.
And take it or leave it. Ain't nobody else gonna say they home of the truth. They get offended when we say it. Everybody wants to say what, we got a part of it. This organization has a part of it. Oh, UPK, they got part of it. Now let's bring that all together, and now we got the whole truth. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It never worked that way. The Sadducees and Pharisees and the apostles did not sit there and have a unity camp to figure out what the true law, statutes, commandments were, what the true spirit of the Most High was about. Yahushua told them flat out what it was. And he gave that authority and that tutelage down to Peter and Paul and the apostles. And they kept that tradition. And that word survived all the way to 2021.
For sure.
And again, Happy New Year, nothing. Like a lot of y'all that just got to celebrating that, man, like y'all about to be very disappointed with your current decisions. But the door is always open.
Right.
So again, you gotta have a right and a wrong. Account, Bible push up. Perfect time for it too.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 47. And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? So, of course, the reason why I brought this out is because Christ had checked the disciples because they was really pretty much just only saluting or saluting, showing love to just themselves, among themselves. It's like us in the U.K. Like we only mess with each other,
right?
In a sense, like we only say shalom and things of that sort to each other. But when it comes to somebody outside of the school, we don't say hey, we don't say shalom, we don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? We don't show no hospitality, no love whatsoever, which is the wrong spirit to have.
Right.
Now, of course, you got to deal with people wisely outside of the truth, those that are in the world. But at least, still, hey, shalom, hey, how you doing, brother? You see what I'm saying? Hey, sis, how you doing? See what I'm saying? If there's a certain person that doesn't like you necessarily, someone that doesn't really mess with you, that's in a family or a family's friend, something like that, still just be kind enough to just be a bigger person and say, shalom, hey, how you doing? You see what I'm saying? Because you are better when you do that. You are better than them when you do that.
Damn right.
The level of respect, the level of discipline is better when you do it. See what I'm saying? Versus them. Don't be petty. Let them be petty. You see what I'm saying? That's what you do. You be the bigger person. You be the one that shows discipline. You be the person that shows, righteous acts. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, I have another scripture. 1 Peter 2:17. Honor all men. Love the brotherhood. Fear God. Honor the king. That should be self-explanatory. This is a old One West scripture that we use all the time. To let it be known, no matter how you feel, how you think, honor all men. See what I'm saying? It's not saying have respect to persons of anybody. All I'm saying is just, show some love. You see what I'm saying? All that hate and animosity that you have, like, goddamn, show some love. Show some respect to a brother or a sister. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear the Most High, and honor the king. Who's the king? In a sense, who's the king? Anybody. Who is the king? Go ahead.
Yahushua Mashiach.
You say Yahushua? Who do you say? Go ahead.
Or the man above you.
Okay. I'm not saying that you're right or you're wrong necessarily. Not yet, at least. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if maybe I misheard, if I'm thinking of something else. But I think in the context at this time, he may have been referring to Caesar.
No. It is talking about Yahushua. It is talking about Yahushua. Yeah, I did it on purpose. See what I'm saying? It says, fear the Most High, fear God, and honor the King. We know that our King is Yahushua the Mashiach. That was the correct answer. All right, so you get the point. I just want to bring that up. You go ahead and continue, though.
And I mean, that definitely correlates with 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and 40. Let all things be done with decently and in only for. Now it seems like a fairy tale. Now it seems like something that's so dramatic. When it's, again, there's simplicity in Christ. This is all a very simple thing. But again, yeah, do everything in decency and order. Ain't no respect of persons. just because you got an art with a brother, you should go to him and him alone if it's that bad, if it's that much of an issue, so you think like y'all about to start swinging off. Otherwise, just let that pettiness go. You ain't gotta be buddy. You ain't gotta be Facebook friends. You ain't gotta like each other's posts and comments. You ain't gotta follow their YouTube channels. If you see each other at a barbecue or at a family event or community event or something like that, you ain't gotta sit next to each other at the feast. But also don't hang up on that. Don't let that weigh you down and stop being a brother to again somebody that may be in the school or may be outside of the school, maybe in the truth or not in the truth.
Right.
We still Israelites at the end of the day. It's like
Just to piggyback off what you're saying, like in the world, I hear a lot of people saying like, I'm gonna treat people accordingly, like treat people how they treat me.
Yeah.
And I always think like, if you do that, if you treat everybody how they treat you, you're not stable yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be whoever you're dealing with. That's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? You gotta deal with people in the world. And this person is a searcher, this person is a thief. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with them, you can deal with them wisely without changing yourself. You see what I'm saying? And being on the level that they are. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
And no, I'm glad that you said that because that's the whole point that I mentioned when I mentioned First Peter 2:17. Because I mean, like they said, treat those. However people treat you, you should treat them. So if someone is treating you disgustingly, does that mean that you should be disgusting to them? What lesson is learned? Nothing is learned. Y'all both doing the same thing. Y'all look like children. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. If someone is being poor to you, you should be better than them. Show better character than what they are showing you. Because once again, that shows a lot about your character in general. Go ahead.
And if I may, just couple up with that 1 Peter chapter 3. But contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thitherto, or it's like thereunto called that ye should inherit a blessing.
Absolutely. Hey, give him a hand.
And again, that applies to how we deal with brothers and sisters in the school or outside of the school. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a suture. Brotherhood is a heart transplant. Brotherhood is it's a beautiful thing, and it can be terrifying for some that have never truly known it. Sisters, like I don't know about y'all out there, but I've met a lot of damaged sisters. I've met a lot of damaged brothers too. But brotherhood and sisterhood is something foreign to us nowadays. We don't know what that looks like anymore. So for a brother or sister outside of the school to see that from one of us inside the truth in the school, it almost brings up an anger issue for them. Like some of them, like I've seen some people get mad about it. In the way that we've been treated by people. Before, during that, for us, it ain't gonna be no after the truth. I mean, we in it. But before and during the truth, even some of the things that have happened to us, we still not rendering evil for evil. We still not giving railing for railing. Instead, all right, now that blessing too, it's not saying can I go send the brother a fruit basket. I don't want Maccabi. Go send them a bouquet of flowers or a dainty singing telegram. No, that blessing might be. Listen, don't go over there and whoop their ass either. You might have gotten jumped last week. Don't go back there with the guns that you got. Don't go back there with the family that you got that want to see blood for that too.
Right.
That's not rendering evil for evil. That's giving them a blessing for the evil that they've done unto you. That's turning the other cheek.
Yeah,
that's turning the other cheek for you. Not getting your head blown off because you shot my cousin. But instead, listen, Salakia, somebody get this brother a fly. Or at the very least, shalom, Lord be with you. that we've done some horrible things to each other. Horrible things that generationally we have not been able to get over. But things in drug inflicted are involved. So you got that?
No. I just know about it.
You got it, Bible shut.
Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Who cares how many followers and subscribers you got on YouTube versus somebody else? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. They're trying to kill us out here, and not with a vaccine. With your votes. With your commitment towards them. With you selling yourself out for Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. That's vanity.
Right.
And the messed up part is we know it's vanity. We know that $10 that we about to spend at the dollar store to fill up them stockings for Saint Nick. Ain't that what they hang up all over the chimney?
Yeah,
You niggas ain't even got a chimney. You ain't got a fireplace. What are we doing? We know that this is false. We know that rabbits are not going to lay eggs in March. We know there is no little fat white baby going around with a bow and arrow in February. We know this, but we're doing it for the kids.
Right.
We're doing it for the people that we love. How about tell the people you love the truth?
That's right.
How about give them something solid to stand on? Brotherhood is solid.
Mm-hmm.
Sisterhood is solid.
That's right.
It's solid in the UPK. And you ain't got to take my word for it. Come to the Passover coming up down there in Houston, Texas, and see what I mean for yourself. You ain't got to take my word for it. My word don't mean nothing. Come see them brothers for yourself and tell me if I'm lying. Then I'll shut up. Then I'll stop. I promise. But I know it's not going to happen, so again, we're going to keep on talking. We got the Feast of Purim coming up too, February, right? Get with your brothers on them days. Get with your sisters on them days. We got the best cooks. We got the best atmosphere. Our brothers play the best chess, the best dominoes, the best spades. We got the best music. Everything. And the brotherhood that comes with the truth is sincere.
Right.
Down to the last stitch. Again, it's a band-aid. It's a healing salve. It's something that we need. Because it's something that we ain't got out there.
Right.
It's what we got here. There's nothing wrong with not selling your people drugs. There's nothing wrong with not beating somebody up. And how would I say this? If you're not stomping out, it's like, let me reverse that. If you in the school, if you involve yourself, if you delve into the truth, you're not going to be out there in them streets. To be somebody, pray. To be tempted to pray on somebody else.
Right.
It works both ways. And in what for me personally, if I may, one of the most beautiful things about the truth is you ain't got to be a pansy either, like them Christians, and you ain't got to be a liar. Some on the outside looking like a holy man, on the inside behind closed doors, you really a murderous gangster, like them Hasidic Jews, or like them Catholic homosexual priests, preying on the weak and innocent. Out front, they're supposed to be holy as thou art. But behind closed doors, they the most wickedest things on earth. Monsters. When you in the truth, though, men can be men for once. Right. It's something that society hates. But brotherhood embraces it. I want a soldier. I want a brother next to me if I'm about to get into it. If it's about to pop off. And I want a strong sister next to me too. When I want to build a family, somebody sweet, somebody sensitive, somebody that's gonna. Oh, it's like we ain't gotta get in all that. Knows how to cook, knows how to clean, knows how to watch her mouth, knows how to respect her husband. Also knows how to love her people. Knows how to show brotherhood and sisterhood. It's something that, again, it's something that we don't see a lot.
Right.
Now, in the world, you might have had, gang ties, drug ties, your little cipher circle that you used to kick it with. And again, everybody in the moment will die for one another.
Right.
Will die. I'll kill everybody for you, knowing you ain't gonna lift a finger. I'll die for you, knowing a fly scares him. There's no sincerity out there. And if they're not doing it for some type of monetary gain, they're just not going to do it. Period. Over here, we'll give you something better. Before us having to die for one another, we'll do that if necessary. But before it gets to that point, let's see how we can correct one another, so we can have a better quality of life. Again, crying aloud and sparing not, showing our people our transgressions. We ain't going to spare you just because you're an Israelite. And we ain't going to stomp a mud hole into your chest either, just because you're an Israelite and you're breaking the laws. But we're going to talk about it. But we're going to do that one-on-one. Over social media, we're just addressing everybody. These are general statements. I ain't calling nobody's name like that, because ain't nobody said nothing about my name. So, I ain't got nobody to address. But when you hear that on Cross the Line, on Black Watch, on Let a Hebrew Speak, if it comes up on Boot Up or Shut Up, if it comes up on Inconvenient Truth, if it comes up on, they coming out left and right. Angry, is Captain Soccer Wars, he's still doing his thing, Angry Black Man?
Yeah, or / toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
And then it's like, assume, I pray you understand radio in Minnesota.
That's right.
Twin Cities, I pray you understand.
Right.
Like there's sincerity back here because there's a solid foundation to stand on back here.
Right.
It's like it just came into my head. I'm gonna paraphrase. They know not what they worship.
Right. Yeah.
We know what we worship.
That's right.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Where men can be men, respected as such, have the authority as such. Where our sisters ain't gotta be as masculine as some of the men that they just ran from. Right. Sisters, you ain't gotta fight like that no more. I ain't got no problem if you can throw hands. No problem with that. I want my daughter to be able to defend herself.
John chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the...
Don't have. Ain't no Father Time. Ain't no Old Man Winter. Ain't no Baby New Year's. Ain't no chair with a bow and arrow. The Christian church is a farce and a lie.
Right.
The Muslim mosque is a farce and a lie. I don't want it.
It's like the New Year's revolution is like the equivalent to water baptism.
Yeah.
It don't mean shit.
Right.
Like you gonna go down the way, you gonna go down homosexual, come up with homosexual.
Right.
If you was a homosexual this year, you going into the New Year homosexual.
Yeah. That's it.
So,
That's it. Hey, give me a hand for that. That's it. That's it. New year, new me? No. That did not occur for you. You will not be having a good New Year. It's not even the New Year. Look outside, man. If you shoveling snow right now and you celebrating the New Year, something wrong. Something wrong with you. And if you're down south, if you're south of the equator or right on the equator, it's nice and sunny and all that, and you still celebrating the New Year, you still ass backwards. Because you know it's not a new year.
Right.
You know it's not, especially not only according to the calendar and agriculture and the signs of the times and astronomy, is it not a new year, but conceptually, religiously, philosophically, theologically, it's not a new year. Seasonally, like it's... All right, so we got April 24th. April 24th. At night. Sit outside, chart the stars. Do that every day until the next April 24th.
It's more than just the stars tomorrow.
Or kind of, yeah. mental through that stars, the moon, it shows the signs of the times.
Right, right.
Like forget about where the Big Dipper is and where your zodiac sign is ascending and the next one is descending. Forget that. But you can pick out those landmark stars that don't change during the seasons.
Right.
Like they're gonna stick those stars that are in the sky during spring. They're gonna stay there during that season. Come fall, you're gonna get a new chart of stars. And the same pattern with the moons. You're gonna see it not only with the different phases, but it's gonna have a different travel to it. It's not always gonna be running on the same plane. You're not gonna see it going down that same line. It's gonna switch up because of the way that the Earth is tilted and the way it rotates. That's just nature, though. That's just physics. Ain't nothing special about it. Ain't nothing to be worshipped. I'm sure there's another blood moon coming up around the corner that people are going to get all amped up over. It's just an eclipse. There's no power behind that. But again, we lost that common sense because this earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
That's right.
Right.
They cover up the judges, or the face of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? Surely it's not going to be ain't nobody going to want to own up to that. Being the ones, being the Antichrist, being the ones who push the Antichrist and help proliferate that, being the mark of the beast. And how are we going to say that they the mark of the beast if it's not a chip? You can't fit a human being inside the palm of your hand and in your forehead. So how does that work out? Because of their philosophies and their teachings. They will get you to work with your hands to their means and measures. They will get you to think on their agenda for their means and their measures. That's how that mark of the beast gets embedded in your forehead, in your hand. But good night, man. Some of y'all be having nightmares over, again, very simple things that can be addressed. All you got to do is come to class.
Right.
All you got to do is call into any one of the half a dozen or so radio shows that we just talked about. They'll answer your questions. You can get in contact with anybody any time of day. We're in all different time zones too. If one coast is asleep, the next coast is still up. And by the time they travel around to Europe, another brother is going to be up again too. Like it don't stop here. Out there in the world, though, I mean, we've seen what that is. We've seen what that's about. We've seen how that has us acting towards each other. There's a way to stop it. There's a way to correct that. Now, this world is given into the hand of the wicked. And it's like I should have grabbed the world that follows too. Because Esau is the end of this world.
Second Ezra 6 and 9.
Precept King. Give it up for the Precept King. The why? Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 9. Let me get this.
Last one showed 9:24, right? That's the last one.
We come.
To them with it. Yeah. Those are my precepts.
Second Ezra chapter 6. Let's get it.
The whole second Ezra is a bomb as book in general.
Yeah, and again, like any of these, anytime that you listen to any of the classes, write down the scriptures that the brothers are pulling, and take that time afterwards, or even during the class, to go a little bit above, go a little bit, read up, read down, because you'll get. We're not cherry picking. We're picking these verses because that's the essential spirit behind whatever point or chapter is that we're talking about. You read up a little bit, you'll get some of the context. You read down a little bit, you'll get the rest of the story. But we're just touching on the specific measures of it. Whereas, some people might say, because what goes in a man's mouth, simple phrase. and trying to turn it into some epic that's just, it's got to be so revealing because it's in the Bible. Man. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world is given into the hand of the wicked. Now, read up about Esau. Take some of the classes. Call into some of the classes, some of the radio shows, to one of your regions, one of your schools near you. Ask about who Esau is. Ask him how and why we say he's the wicked that the earth was given into the hands to. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Ask him who Jacob is. Ask him if his name was, or ask him if, how, and why his name was changed to Israel. Ask him who are the Israelites. Ask him why we claim that lineage. Ask him why Jacob is the beginning of the world that follows. Because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And when the wicked rule, the world mourns. The earth mourns. Like I'm paraphrasing this one.
Proverbs 29.
Precept King. Precept King, Proverbs 29.
It's a bad habit.
I think it's a good habit, sir.
Proverbs 29 is what that is. Otherwise, as far as Jacob's name being changed, that's Genesis 35 and 10.
And there's stories and principles behind this that a lot of people just ain't going to be comfortable with because it doesn't include the virgin birth, the Holy Mary, Mother of God. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, we're living in them times where Esau runs this joint, where the wicked rule. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Verse 3. Or slack it. No, slack it. That was the beginning of verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. That's the world that followed with Jacob. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. We're living in the times right now. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Everything that we're doing right now is pitting us against each other. Financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. We are so gung-ho to shoot up one of our own family members, to fight one of our own family members, rob one of our own family members, more than we are willing to sit at the same table with them and discuss the problem before it has to go that far. And a lot of people are going to hate the school because we got righteous leaders, diligent and trustworthy leaders that are going to sit your little simple behind down and explain it to you. The hard way, not sparing your feelings,
right?
Crying aloud and sparing not, showing you our trespasses. Because again, there's something else, especially about the UPK. And I mean, there's a lot of Israelites that keep the same sentiment, but especially with the UPK, we don't differentiate ourselves necessarily from our brothers and sisters in the world that are still sinning. You're still our people. Now, when we talk about the crimes that our oppressor has committed, and we talk about their lineage, their history, now everybody wants to say that wasn't me, that wasn't my family. You know, I'm Irish. Our people were in slavery too. We were in captivity too. We had nothing to do with that. Back in the 1700s, in the 1500s, in the 1400s. And you damn sure had something to do with it in the early 1950s and 60s with your police forces. But you wanna remove yourself so quick from when again it's like your precept king. Prepare slaughter.
Isaiah 14:21.
Precept king. Precept king. Precept king.
Isaiah 14 is my favorite chapter, by the way. And chapter 10 and 18 as well. That's also a canonical my favorite chapter, by the way. He talks about it all the time. Isaiah 14:21.
And if I could just get kind of how you mentioned that, like, all right, listen, we'll get together. We'll get together. We'll kick it. We'll have dinner. We'll break bread. Might have a sip, play some cards or something like that. We might go over scripture. This ain't no Bible study Sunday church group though. This ain't Sunday school. This isn't a book club. We're reading from a book. We're gathering together on Nation Not Desired. We're talking about the scriptures. We're talking about the Most High in Christ. But we ain't no damn Christians. We ain't no Mormons. We ain't no Jehovah's Witnesses. We ain't no Quakers. We ain't no Muslims. We ain't no atheists or Buddhists or Hindu. We're not a religion.
Right.
We are Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
This is our code of conduct. And it's very strict.
Right.
And it's meant for your benefit. It's meant for your health. Because everything else that we've been doing out here has been getting us killed. It's been getting us robbed. It's been getting us sent to jail. It's been getting us put into debt. It's been giving us low self-esteem. It's been jacking up the suicide rates on the reservations,
Right.
and in the barrios and in the ghettos. Our kids don't walk around with the same confidence as they used to. Imagine if they knew Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they knew the importance of Psalms 140, 147, 149.
I'm sorry, 147, 19 through 20.
All right, count.
I'm sorry.
Psalm 147, 19 through 20. Look these up for yourself. Imagine if they saw the difference between what this Bible diligently reflects versus what this world wants them to be. How we're supposed to operate versus what we've been trained and programmed to do. Our customs and traditions versus the influences and the mind control. And they didn't get it overnight. This didn't happen yesterday. This didn't happen 100. That made think, in the grandparents, great, over a couple of decades getting pushed into civil rights. So now in that same era, just about, and they want to tell us to let it go. It's in the past, right? We're just getting done with it, not even 100 years ago. And I'm not talking about like that so-called bill that Abraham Lincoln had signed, that never really saw the light of day, because it didn't kick in when he signed it. They didn't even bring it out when he signed it. Those fake Jews, their Holocaust, that happened around that same time, about 100 years ago. Not even 100 years ago. But if we say, hey, get over it, I mean, that's almost a century ago. What you still crying about?
Right.
Nick Cannon loses his TV show. Who else got put under flame? One of them celebrities.
I believe I.S.U.P.K.
I was gonna say I.S.U.P.K, but I wasn't sure if he had, because he didn't renege though.
Kind of. Yeah.
I.S.U.P.K didn't renege. Nick Cannon reneged.
Yeah, he did.
He should have stuck with that, took his money, came to the school, and he could have maintained his manhood. Instead, I don't know what Mariah Carey must have done to that brother. I don't know if that brother was any type of soldier anyway, but something happened to him. We could have helped you with that, man. Young man, we could have helped you with that.
Right.
That goes for all the celebrities that are out there that feel that they got a stand, they don't want to give up their prestige. You can have that same prestige in this school. You can keep that same money in this school. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But nobody wants to start off as a trooper. Nobody wants to say kind out of one kind. Nobody wants to sweep the floors of the school. Nobody wants to hold posts. Everybody wants to be the one on the loudspeaker. Everybody wants to be the one giving the orders. I got brothers that are half my age that rank out over me, and it's still kind of out of one kind. That it's not an issue if brotherhood was sincere. If you had genuine brotherhood, it wouldn't be an issue. Because Jacob is that world that follows. I don't care what we got to do right now. Because even for our kids, whether I get to see that light of day or not, our kids, Lord allow, will be able to see a world where you have to look into a history book to hear about a kidnapping. You would never see another Amber Alert on your phone. Poverty, what the hell is that? Or again, where our kids could grow up in an environment where the afflictions that we got right now, they would never know about. Like, what's poverty?
That's right.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They be looking at us like what's a prison cell?
Right.
Like, what's the chain gang? Like, what's probation? EBT cards.
Right.
What the hell is that?
Section
That's the world that follows.
Right.
And now with that comes brotherhood. And we gotta learn how to operate around one another. Now, when we're in the school, it's rank and order. There's things that we just gotta do. Orders that we gotta follow. You might have to do some driving. You might have to do some cleaning. You might have to go grab a bunch of books. You might have to take a bunch of notes. It could be one of a million different things based off the needs of the school and your skill sets. We're going to put you to work. You're going to be applied. Purple shirt with fringes hanging up in somebody's closet for you.
Salaki. You got louder.
Salaki.
You are at camp right now.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
Wait, prepare what?
Prepare slaughter
For who?
for his children.
Y'all don't want to be them kids no more. Go ahead.
Right.
For the iniquities of their fathers.
For your father escaped justice. Unfortunately for you, his debt was passed down to you. And if you escape it by suicide or whatever other means, I mean, hey, 6 feet is 6 feet to me. I don't care. Social distance. No sweat. It's going to go down to your kids. And they're going to have to bear that record. At the very least, you could be a man and spare your child that pain. If you wanted to be a good father, if you wanted to be a good brother to your people. But again, you disassociate yourself from your people so quick because you don't want to take that burden. I'm talking to our oppressor.
That's right.
You don't like that. But again, you want to tell us to get over it. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. Because there's only one side of the coin for us. Whether it's, I don't care if it lands on heads or tails. For us, it's the same thing. It's going to be the same end result because you cannot serve two masters. But I say unto you, select. Oh, select. I was selecting. 1 second. That's the wrong one. Wrong page. There we go. Matthew 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, which is, again, what we've been experiencing in this day and age. You hate the Israelite school of UPK because of the truth and the strength that it puts out there. Because of that toxic masculinity. Shout out to Captain Soccer War.
Right.
You hate the UPK because of the discipline and the diligency and the militancy of our men. And the submissiveness and the meekness and the beauty and the sincerity of our sisters. You hate us for that. But you love the lies that they feed you. You love the taxes they put on you. Amendment, First Amendment, this, that, and the third. Every day of the week. And upgrade your life.
That's right.
Like, or he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and men.
Right.
It's really that simple. Again, for us, it's black and white. For the rest of y'all that are still struggling with it, again, Lord be with you. But the I.S.U.P.K is not open, is not closed. COVID did not shut down UPK.
That's right.
COVID shut down the church. COVID shut down the government. It did not shut down the school. So with that, we're going to cut this down. We have the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any organization. Israel, pay your tithes.
That's right.
We're going to get into the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. Oh, Salak, imagine. We have the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. New rule for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to set themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. And Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara. We actually just went over this recently in last one Kodash class in the Twin Cities. So, I mean, you can check into that just to check the legitimacy of it. No sweat. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you give to the Treasury Department or teacher. We also have Cash App accounts, just to make it easy. Money sign UPK tithes. Very quick. Or you can go to ISUPK.com, scroll down to the donate button, and you can pay your tithes that way also.
So like as far as Cash App is UPK tithes, $ UPK tithes. They changed
The $ I.S.U.P.K. Notifications, we got the Feast of Purim coming up February
25th through the 26th.
25th through the 26th. Again, ISUPK.com. You can check out the different scheduling arrangements made by your region. After that, also we got the Passover coming up in April from the 24th to the 20. It's like April 24th for the Passover. After that, we got the Feast on Unleavened Bread. So start making your arrangements. It's gonna be down there in Houston. Like what I said, what I do. Salaki, unleavened bread. Salaki, brother, making fun. All right, no sweat. But yeah, we got the Passover coming up. Start making arrangements now. We got the R&H Ranch down there in Houston, Texas. I believe that's what it's called. Again, you can always check in ISUPK.com, get the correct information if I misspoke it. But start making your hotel arrangements now just to get everything in order. Save your money up. It's going to be for a good cause. And again, check out the Brotherhood and Sisterhood for yourself. You ain't got to take our word for it. If any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That means your boots, your shirt, your pant, your headband, and your scarf. With that, Imagine upon Yaakov, which means turn the face of east. Do the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Samka, Yahweh, Malakah, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Salaki, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazak, Kawak, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanaw, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanaw, Kabawakinaw, Kasalakinaw, Kabawakinaw, Wala'ah, Tawiyanaw, Banasayawam, Ball, Awashaynaw, Mayam, Rai, Hayah, Lakab, Amalakwa, Wahala, Wahata Parak, Lawam, Aman.
The Lord's Prayer.
I will be done
In earth,
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
and
and forgive us of our debts,
forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
Lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory.
forever. Online, just type the name in if you want to send up a prayer.
The mother said, you can say the name of the loved one once, or repeat the name once.
So Anatelli,
On the telly,
I'm telling you.
Diamond Deutsch,
Doors,
all of Israel,
All of Israel.
UPK Minnesota,
You became Minnesota. Israelite School of UPK.
Israelite School UPK,
All of Israel.
all of Israel,
Benjamin. Jamie. Whitney. Ali. Captain Malquad.
Captain Mama Clyde,
Also Tarak.
Officer Tarak,
Also Rapai Yali.
Officer Payal,
the Bar Mach,
The Bar Mach.
also Kodash
Also Kodah Zion.
all of I.S.U.P.K,
All of ISUPK.
I.S.U.K Minneapolis,
ISUPK Minneapolis.
Rapai
Yali.
Cornwall, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yahushua.
Angels,
the angels,
Generals,
Generals.
Captains,
Captains.
Officers,
Officers.
Troopers,
Troopers.
students,
students,
sisters, all of Israel.
all of Israel.
All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Also not.
Also not.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
The water of
The water of man. What we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
Lord, in your name.
Yahushua.
bless us in Israel.
Bless us in
In
Israel.
the school.
In the school.
Bless, heal, shield, protect.
Bless, heal, shield, protect.
Loved ones.
Loved ones.
In the name of
In the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
I.S.U.P.K power structure. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth,
And all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of
In the
Yahushua.
name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Say evils and curses.
That evils and
And
curses,
punishment and destruction.
punishment and destruction
To the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against
that
us.
speak against
Thy
us,
prophets.
thy prophets,
Thy teachers.
thy teachers,
The princes.
the princes,
The priests.
the priests,
The Israelite brothers.
the Israelite brothers,
And the school.
and the school.
Saying evils and curses.
That evils and curses,
Punishment and destruction.
punishment and
To
destruction
the heathen.
to the heathen,
And shake loose the treasure
and shake loose the treasure
of the rich of
of the
Israel.
rich of Israel,
That refuse to give to the
that
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches
To enter into thy sanctuary.
to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
That evils and curses,
Punishment and destruction.
punishment and destruction
To the Edomites.
to the
And
Edomites
their nations.
and the
The
nations,
drug dealers.
the drug dealers,
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
prison system,
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood,
All the governments are enemies.
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church,
The Pope.
the Pope,
Islam.
Islam,
Christianity.
Christianity,
Egyptology.
Egyptology,
Militia.
militia,
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation.
Aryan nations, skinheads,
Posicomataz.
Posicomataz,
NASA space program. Seek to stop
that
us.
seek to stop
And
us,
bring swift destruction.
and bring swift
To
destruction
all the heathen.
to all the heathen
That stand in the way.
that stand in the way,
Or try to stop
or
us.
try to stop
From
us
broadcasting your
from
word.
broadcasting your word
Throughout the planet.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues,
Cause them to go to and
cause
fro.
them to go to and fro
Throughout the earth, consume them.
throughout the earth and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahweh Shai,
Let Yahushua,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers
come down with the flying saucer,
and punish all the heathen
punish all the heathen
that come up against us
that come up against
as we
us
speak thy word.
as you speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that is the angels that have done it.
it's the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread throughout the media,
Cause it to be spread throughout the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh
Thank
Shai,
you, Yahushua.
thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
All right, me and Israel, we're going to start and give each other praise and salute. Among us, go ahead and sound it off.
Men of Israel, Michael Shabbat, Michael, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Rakatham. That's my time. Courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, son. Men of Israel, Michael Shabbat, Michael, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Rakatham, Hashem, Yahushua.
Hospitage, class dismissed.